Hi there, everybody. It's Chris-Ann here with the Yard Card Association. Today, we're going to talk about money. Show me the money. We're going to specifically talk about sales and knowing your revenue. This is the best part of owning a business, right? Is counting your cash. So let's dive in. I'm recording this at the beginning of 2022. And so what that means is it's time to get all of 2021 together. What's the best way to do that, you ask? Well, let's start with getting all of those numbers together. If you process all of your customer order payments through one place, such as Square, my personal favorite credit card processor, then it's going to be super easy. You can log into your Square dashboard and go into the reports section and download a report as an Excel or CSV file. When you do that, it's going to allow you to open that up and you'll be able to see it. It's going to show you what your gross revenue is. Easy peasy. If you are somebody who collects payments in multiple ways, then you're going to have a little bit more work to get your numbers together. But just like with Square, you're going to do that with multiple places. Let's say you've got Square, Stripe, PayPal, wherever else you are getting your income from. It's time to open up a Google Sheet and put this all in. And I will show you a real basic template that we made. And if you would like to use it as well, just let me know. Now, if you're using QuickBooks, let me just tell you, if you're a QuickBooks user, this does not apply to you because you're already doing this. It's already all connected for you. So we're going to get back, though. This is more for people who need the basics and are not quite at that advanced level quite yet. I'm going to share my screen and show you what this looks like. Now, if you're listening over on one of our podcast episodes, just know we will link to the actual video so that you can take a look at this as well. So hang on, everybody. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, we are going to look at all the possible places you could be getting money from. So I made this example here on an Excel spreadsheet. This is actually Google Sheets. So we've got Square. We're going to get these numbers from each of these payment processors, right? Square, Stripe, PayPal. You might have Amazon Pay or Shopify Pay, whatever those forms are, that's what you're going to have. Now, let me just pick on everybody that's using peer-to-peer platforms. That means Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, even PayPal Personal, right? If you're using those, you're going to have a little bit more work to cut out for what you're going to need to do with those three things. But basically, let's say when you looked at your Square report, it said you made $5,000. You're going to go here, you're going to type in $5,000. Boom. And then you're going to go through and then look, it tallies down here for you. Now, side note, if you would like to know how to tally, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a formula lesson. If you look up here, it's going to show you. And I'm sorry if you're listening to this and not watching, you'll need to make sure to listen in. But basically, it's really simple to do. They've got different functions over here. If you go over here to this funky looking symbol, this Greek symbol, you can just do sum. So let me show you. Let's say I'm going to take all these. We've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, right? That's not going to automatically total for you. What do I want to do? I'm going to go over here to that funny Greek E. I'm going to click that. And then I want to sum, S-U-M. I'm going to click sum. And see how that popped up? It's kind of funny. It wants me to type in where in the world I want it to sum. So I'm going to highlight, let's just go ahead and bring it all the way down to there. And I'm going to hit enter. Look what happens. So we've got 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000. So we know that should be $6,000. Boom. It's just like magic. Now, what else do we do here? So that's just a little side note on how to use this in an Excel or spreadsheet format there. Okay, real quick, let me just make sure, is everybody here? All right, I'm just making sure we've got everybody here and that everything is working just fine. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about real quick, we're going to talk about those peer-to-peer processors. So I'm just going to actually give you a behind the scenes over in our Yard Card member portal in their member library. We've got some fantastic resources and trainings. So I'm going to actually pull from that. You're going to see a behind the scenes. Let me read something over there for you. So hang tight 1 second. Okay, are you ready? Share the screen again. All right, here we go. Know your numbers, know your revenue numbers. This is one of our training lessons that we did. And so I'll just kind of read through this with you. How much revenue did you make this year? And we're going to talk about this for 2021. You've got all of your numbers. How did people pay you? They paid you in some manner, right? So I want you to tally up your sales from everywhere. We just talked about this. And I just showed you the Excel. It can be an Excel or a Google Sheet. Here's my screenshot of that for my simple one. And then you don't need to, this is more for our members that went through and wanting to compare with their goals. But what I'm going to do is scroll all the way down here. And I want to just talk about those peer-to-peer processors, right? So we've got Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. Those are super, super popular. But here is the main takeaway I want you to have from there. The reason that a lot of these are popular is because not having to pay credit card processing fees, right? Now I know with Square, which is my favorite one because I love the reporting and I love the tip option, I think it's 2.9% and then 30 cents on each transaction. I've had it for so long, I don't actually remember the exact fees, but each one of them has their own. So when you're using the Cash App or Zelle or Venmo and you're treating it just like a personal friend with each customer, it's actually against their terms, just FYI. Now, each of them has recently started coming out with a business product so that you can do that. And guess what? You're going to get fees with those. Now, one of them, I think it's Venmo or Cash App, the fees are smaller. But here is the thing I want you to realize. So I have actually done a screenshot and I'm going to zoom in on this if I can. Hang tight, everybody, while I get this together. All right, it's not going to let me zoom in too much, but let me read what this says to you. First of all, just know that this is not considered best business practices when you're doing it this way. But the big takeaway I want you to hear, and if you see the yellow circle, sorry, if you're listening to this on the podcast, just envision you're looking at this with us. I'm picking on Zelle, but they all of the products say this for Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle. Unlike a credit card, Zelle does not offer a protection program for any authorized payments. If you do not receive the item as described, basically, they're on their own. Now, as a customer, that is not great to hear. So if there is something that they are not happy about, they don't have any recourse. As a business owner, that is just not good business. So I just want you to hear that and see that so that you understand that there is no recourse. If they send it to the wrong phone number, oops, that's really going to cause a situation, right? So there's things like that, just some hesitations that I want to make sure that you are aware of. Okay, so I'm back right over here, and hopefully you're able to tune into this, and this is making sense to you. Now, here's the other thing I want you to be able to do. Once you get all those numbers together, you're going to tally it, and that's going to be your gross revenue. This is huge. This is going to be your 2021 gross revenue. And then you're going to work with that as you move forward in reviewing the rest of your financial business. Now, one thing I also want to talk about are IRS reporting requirements, right? Doesn't sound fun. It's not, but it is what it is. If you are using most of these payment gateways, let me just tell you this. There will be a certain report. It's called a 1099-K. What that means is these credit card processors will send you this 1099-K form electronically. It would be in your dashboard, which means they have reported your sales to the IRS. Now let me flip the screen, and I am going to actually read this to you if I can find it. So hang on one second, everybody. Here we go again. All right, now here we go. Okay, let's read this. I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay, here is what the IRS says. Now, this happens to be on Venmo, but I have looked at this. This is basically from the IRS site. Venmo, which is Square, no, Cash App is Square, Venmo is PayPal, and Zelle, I think, is their own product. In compliance with the IRS regulation, they are required to report your sales volume to the IRS. Here's the requirement. You have to make $20,000 in US sales. That's a gross revenue in one calendar year. And you have had to have processed 200 transactions. So if you have made $20,000 in gross revenue and had 200 transactions, then your payment provider will be required to issue you a 1099-K. Here's some exceptions. Massachusetts, Maryland, Vermont, and Virginia, the threshold is $600, no matter how many transactions there are. For Illinois, the threshold is $1,000 for 3 or more transactions. So what this means is basically you need to be reporting the same thing that they are reporting to the IRS, and they will sync that up. And you want to make sure that it's going to be the same amount. And I hope that makes sense. Okay, I am coming back over here. Okay, I'm back. So I hope that is helpful. And if you would like to get a copy of our really basic spreadsheet, let me know. But I can tell you the easiest thing to do if you have not done this yet is to take out a piece of paper. I'm going to show you. I have a brand new notebook, and I highly recommend doing this in 2022 every year, is to start with something fresh and just start writing down what those numbers are, because you should be organized and know exactly where your money is coming in from, right? If you're using Square, PayPal, and Stripe, they will also tell you how many transactions you've had. So get these sales, download those reports. When you do that, you download it as a CSV file or an Excel file, XLS. Then you can open that up in a Google Sheet, and we can work from there. I just showed you, if you're watching this, I just showed you how to do a sum, which is tallying up your numbers. And we can go through, if you are part of the Yard Card Association, if you're one of our members, I'm going to go through a separate training that's going to show you how to then sort things. And we're also going to talk about expenses. So definitely everybody take advantage of doing this early on in January. If you're watching this right now, if you're watching this real time, if you're watching this later in the year, no worries either, because it's the same principles that apply, and we should always be keeping our numbers at hand so that we can be organized. Now, if you would really like to up your game, I highly recommend getting an actual bookkeeping system in place. QuickBooks is the financial planning bookkeeping software, and they are just considered the gold standard. And I am not an affiliate for QuickBooks, but I do know that it is definitely the best of the best that you're going to get. It's very comprehensive, and it is also not for the faint of heart. So if you're just getting started, I recommend dipping your toe into Excel or Google Sheets so that you can work with your numbers and get to know them and get a feel for what it is. So I hope that's helpful. And we are also going to have a business expense cheat sheet. I have been working on updating our new business expense cheat sheet. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to tune in and find out more about getting that. And of course, that is free. It's our gift from the Yard Card Association to you. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope this is helpful, and we will see you soon. Cheers to 2022.